OSI model. OSI stands for Open System Interconnection, is a conceptual model that characterizes and standardizes the communication function of a telecommunication or computing system without regard to its underlying internal structure and technology. This consists of different layers of the protocol, software instruction sets in the headers of the message transported over the networks. The existence of layers in data communication represents a subtle and powerful method for changing how people can take advantage of computer networks. The word protocol is used in the military and diplomacy to express rules and precedents, rank, manners, and other matters of correctness. In this matter, a protocol like the defined word above refers to a set of conventions governing the exchange of data connected to a network has a corresponding internet protocol address so other computers on the network can properly route data to that address. Both software and hardware have built-in protocols that will specify how receiver devices will acknowledge sending devices, a process called handshaking. Handshaking establishes the fact that the circuit is available and operational. It also establishes the level of device compatibility, the speed of transmission, the timing of message exchanges, error detection techniques, and a lot more. That's why many electronic devices have been forgotten because of mismatched protocols between each device. OSI model is composed of 7 layers. Number 1 is physical layer. Data link layer is number 2. Number 3 is network layer. Number 4 is transport layer. Number 5 is session layer. Number 6 is presentation layer. And number 7 is application layer. Physical layer or layer 1. The lowest layer is responsible for the actual physical connection between each device in a network. Data link layer, layer 2. This layer makes provisions for the physical transfer of data. It ensures an error-free transfer of data from one node to another over the physical layer. Number 3. Network layer. Layer 3. The network layer is considered the backbone of the OSI model. It selects and manages the best logical path for data transfer between nodes. Number 4. The transport layer or the layer 4. The transport layer is the layer in the open system interconnection or OSI model responsible for the end-to-end communication over a network. Functions of the transport layer are segmentation and reassembly. This layer accepts the message from the session layer and breaks the message into smaller units. Service point addressing. To deliver the message to the correct process, the transport layer header includes a type of address called service point address or port address. Session layer or layer 5. This layer is responsible for establishing, managing, synchronizing, and terminating session between end-user application processes. The main function of the session layer as it follows. It works as a dialogue controller. It is responsible for token management. It synchronizes communication. Representation layer or layer 6. The presentation layer is called the transition layer. The data from the application layer is extracted here and manipulated as per the required format to transmit over the network. Functions of presentation layer are translation, encryption or decryption, compression. 7. Application layer or layer 7. Application layer is the topmost layer in the OSI and TCP/IP layered model. This layer exists in both layered models because of its significance in interacting with user and user application. This layer is for applications that are involved in communication system. The functions of the application layer are network virtual terminal, B, FTAM file transfer access and management, C, mail service
Hello everyone, I'm here to explain our topic about network protocol. Network protocol follows a certain protocol in communicating with other electronic devices. This protocol is called Internet Protocol, which furtherly refers to a set of rules used for routing and addressing packets of data so that a certain message from a source computer can travel across networks, leaving an assurance that the same message will reach the correct destination. Internet protocol is like the postal system of the Internet, responsible for routing data packets from one device to another across networks. It's the foundation that enables communication between devices on the Internet by providing them with unique addresses. Ang IP address naman is a unique identifier of a device either on the Internet or in a local network. This comes in a series of characters like 192.168.1.1. IP addresses are managed and allocated to users by the Internet Assigned Numbers Authority, or INAA, and its delegates with the aid of your networking device such as your modem, router, and or modem router. IP addresses. Next naman ay static versus dynamic IP address. IP address varies from time to time except for an instance of changing the default setting of obtaining your IP address from dynamic into a static configuration. Once you've changed dynamic IP address configuration into static, the IP address of your computer seems to be fixed and permanent in the long run. Kapag parang change mo, 'di ba, kapag yung dynamic change mo sa static, yung IP address mo is parang mafi-fix or mabilis yung pag-run, mabilis yung parang network mo. Ganun. Dynamic IP address. A dynamic IP address is automatically assigned by a DHCP or Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol server and can change periodically. This type of address is commonly used for devices like smartphones, laptops, and home computers that connect to the internet via an internet service provider or ISP. In summary, static IP addresses remain constant while dynamic IP addresses are assigned dynamically and may change over time. Next naman tayo. There are three types of IP addresses. One unique IP address, two multicast IP address, and the last one is broadcast IP address. There are 5 different classes of IP addresses defined by TCP or IP. Class A, B, C, D, and E. Class A, B, and C are used for host addresses while Class D is for multicast and Class E for experimental purposes. Next naman tayo, subnetting. Subnetting is the practice of dividing a network into two or more smaller networks. It increases routing efficiency, enhances the security of the network, and reduces the size of the broadcast domain. Yung subnetting is parang yung parang mabilis yung pag-process or pag-run ng network, hindi kagaya ng iba. Hindi kagaya ng ibang devices na mabagal. Subnetting helps improve network performance, security, and management by logically organizing devices based on their IP addresses. Subnetting involves splitting the network address space into smaller, contiguous blocks and assigning these blocks to different subnets. It enables more efficient use of IP addresses and allows for better control over network traffic. Next naman, subnet mask. Subnet mask is a 32-bit number that masks an IP address and it is being divided into two parts, the network address and the host address. A subnet mask is being identified by the series of 1S and OS, which are called binary. As previously discussed and explained, the language is understood by computers. Subnet masks appeared to be like this: 255.255.255. and 255 point, and any part of these digits could be changed depending on the required host and network addresses. In order for us to identify the host addresses of a certain IP address, we must convert into binary system first. Subnet mask essential divides an IP address into network and host segments. The subnet mask consists of a series of contiguous binary 1S followed by contiguous binary 0S. When applied to an IP address using a bitwise AND operation, it determines the network address to which the IP belongs. For example, in the IP address 192.168.1.0 with a subnet mask of 255.255. And so on. The subnet mask indicates that the first 24 bits represent the network portion while the last 8 bits represent the host portion.
DHCP and DNS, Dynamic and Automated IP Addressing. Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol is a network management protocol used to provide quick, automatic, and central management for the distribution of IP addresses within a network. Its existence in the world of network management includes the automatic configuration of the subnet mask, default gateway, and DNS server information of every electronic device being connected on the network. DHCP was initially created by the Dynamic Host Configuration Working Group of the Internet Engineering Task Force. IP addressing in a matter of seconds. Routers in our houses, in school, and in the small businesses act as DHCP servers. However, in giant companies, one single computer could act as a DHCP server. So how DHCP works in seconds? Every device after it is being initially connected to a network requests an IP address from a DHCP server, like let's say from a router, and the process of sending its request for an IP address is called DHCP discover request. After this request reaches the attention of the DHCP server, it will then get a unique and unused IP address. So, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, or DHCP, automates the distribution of IP addresses within a network. When a device connects, it sends a DHCP discover request to a DHCP server, like a router. The server then assigns a unique unused IP address to the device, along with other network configuration details like subnet mask and DNS server information, typically in a matter of seconds. DHCP request, which means that the offer is being accepted and this device needs the IP address to be officially given. And these are the advantages of DHCP. Number 1, it allows dynamic configuration of IP addresses to happen automatically and are mostly used by almost every device that connects to a network. Example, laptops, tablets, and smartphones. 2, conflicts of IP addresses are being minimized since DHCP tends to assign a unique IP address to all devices connected to a network. DHCP offers flexibility for all electronic devices, allowing users to change their IP addresses without needing to change their network. However, it does not apply to stationary devices like printers and file servers, as they require static IP addresses for constant access by different computers. Overdependence on DHCP can cause delays and stress for users. DHCP server contains a list and range of IP addresses that can accommodate larger numbers of devices in a leasing or lease period method. This means that an IP address of a certain device does not stay for too long or cannot be owned permanently. It changes from time to time depending on the lease period. That is why if you are going to check your IP address using the ipconfig command, your computer will show you different results over time. IP addressing does not let you choose over DHCP and static IP address because you can have both even in a single network. This even allows you to play its flexibility, purpose, and importance. Domain Name System or DNS. Computers in a network are communicating with other computers and even mobile devices using a binary system which includes an IP address. It is only by using these numbers that all computers can communicate, request, send, or process data. On the other hand, humans are using words as a tool for communication. Domain name system is a hierarchical and decentralized naming system for computers, services, or other resources connected to the internet or a private network. It associates various information with domain names assigned to each of the participating entities. Most prominently, it translates more readily memorized domain names to the numerical IP addresses needed for locating and identifying computer services and devices with the underlying network protocols. In simpler terms, DNS is like the Internet's address book. It takes human-friendly website names and turns them into computer-friendly numbers, helping us find and access websites and services easily. It's organized in a way that makes it efficient and reliable, ensuring smooth communication across the internet. And lastly, the process of accessing a website involves several steps in the DNS hierarchy. Initially, your browser checks its cache for the website's IP address. If not found, it contacts the resolver server, usually operated by your ISP. If still not found, the query moves up to the root servers, then the top-level domain or TLD servers, and finally the authoritative name server, which hold the requested IP address. Once obtained, the IP address is sent back through the hierarchy to your computer, allowing your browser to load the website. This process helps user access websites by typing names rather than IP addresses.